Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and somebody posted this picture on Facebook, and I live between Marble Falls and Austin, but I actually have a Marble Falls address, and so that's why I decided to do it. The design they have is terrible. I mean, it will not trace. So I took and went to the website of this domain, and I right-clicked and I copied it and I brought it into Corel. Everything else in here can be retyped. All you have to do is find these fonts, which shouldn't be easy, shouldn't be hard. They're a little bit different fonts, and I don't know if your customer really has to have it. But what I did, let's just do it from the start. I just took this picture and I right-clicked and I copy image. And I went into Corel and I pasted it. Now it came out pretty big. So what I want to do first is get rid of all and see even their website doesn't have any of those fonts. It's a pretty sharp, clean image. So with this image selected so that everything else won't disappear, I'm going to take the crop tool, I'm going to crop out. Just make sure you get it all and hit crop. Now it's pretty big. It's not really that big, but I always like to make it smaller to make it easier for Corel to work. It's black and white. We don't have to do anything, so we're going to go trace bitmap, outline, trace clip art. And just that quick, it traced that image to a good sharp image. And then all you'd have to do is just match up some of those fonts or get with the customer. I'm going to go over back a page. You can see it's a good sharp, nothing wrong with that. So all you'd have to do is take that image, make it as large as you want it, and start typing. And if you wanted this exact thing, you could actually, well, look at that, I came out pretty close, maybe a little bit too big. To make it like closer to the original in size, the only thing is, these are just straightforward text. What you could do now, what I would do is, this thing is only less than 5 inches. I'm going to set my nudge factor to 5. I'm going to take my new head and move it out of the way because I'm going to draw an ellipse to get this path. And don't have to hold down the control button, just make an oval and just get it up in there and just kind of play with it till you get that right amount of curvature. So I'm going to go up here a little bit, then bring the whole thing down. And now I still need to go up a little bit. All I'm doing is making it. And then when I get the 4 point, so let's say that's pretty close. So then what I would do is maybe even to make it better, you could take a 2-point line and draw a point there and a point there. And then take your, just go ahead and grab all that. And since I'm not grabbing the other part, I'm now get the oval, nudge it over, take my virtual segment delete key and delete this part, and then take away these lines. And then that is your text. And the wildlife actually intersects with that name. But we'll just do a text. It's all caps. And just kind of pick that font. That font would maybe be Times New Romans or close to it. And it's a little different, but make it bold. And then just see if it doesn't kind of fit in there. And then I would actually take this head and nudge it down and then get wildlife design, text the path, and see what's happening there. And this is a good lesson. I'm going to back up here. What is happening? Get your shape tool. Grab on your line, get your shape tool. The arrow's going the other way. So right click, select everything, right click, and reverse subpath. Now it's going right or left to right. It'll work. Wildlife, text the path, and get on that path and wait until you see that Well, my line's not really long enough, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to back up. I'm going to make this font like 25 maybe. Then go text to path, because you want to be able to see that red line show up in the center right there, and then that's in the center. Then select it all, and just play around with your fonts. Go up to Object, break text apart, get rid of your curve. I would save it in case you need to mess up. You know, if you mess up, and then bring your head back in. And if you want it to intersect that life, you can, or you can nudge it down a little bit, you know, just holding down the control button and make it a little bit lower. But I think if you now the fonts are taller, and that's, you know, that's kind of easily done. It's a different font, but once you find that font, you could actually raise this up. The G's pretty close. I mean, you might be able to find a better font. Text to path, and since we didn't change the length, that red line should show up right in the middle. Select it all, Object, break text apart, nudge the line out of the way, and then nudge your head back up. And then the rest of it is just straightforward. It almost looks like this is like a stencil font. Stencil font doesn't really need to be. I think they'd be a lot happier if you used Times New Roman, and you could, you know, you could still make it thicker. I think we've already made it bold, so you can't really do anything about that, but you could make it thicker, and I'm just going to keep going. Let's make this font thicker and make it look a little different. Let's left click, right click, and we get an outline. Let's go to Effects, and let's contour to the outside. Let's just try 0.1. That might be too much. Oh, it's way too much because we're working so little. 0.01. And what we want is that. Then go to Object, break contour apart, grab the inside contour and just move it out of the way. And then take this and right click. And then I would left click, no outline. It's still a different font, but you're well on your way, because then you could use that same font for here and pick two new fonts for there. Oh, hope that helped. Thank you for watching.